Hi, it's Joe. I'm just going to do a mini tarot reading here for the middle of Capricorn season. So we've, of course, just entered into 2025 off the back of that new moon on the 31st of December. It was at 9 degrees, nearly 10 degrees of Capricorn. And the sensations that we've been having are definitely all forward motion, new beginnings. This Capricorn season is really all about crystallizing what we want to take forward with us whilst leaving the history and the past behind. And I think 2024 was a very strong and difficult year for many people. Lots of changes, lots of endings, lots of challenges. And moving forward into 2025, the new beginnings that we're stepping into now so revolve around we cannot bring anything forward with us that we've been through in 2024 because it is no longer an energy fit. It is out of date. It has gone stale, and bringing it forward with you will be just such a challenge, an energetic challenge, like you're carrying extra baggage and trying to run a marathon, because Capricorn is all about the long term, the long distance, what is going to sustain, what is going to last, and bringing anything forward with us that doesn't serve us, doesn't serve our higher good, is going to be such a drain in 2025 because all of the energies are so geared towards these new starts, stepping into personal authority, action, assertion, and discovering who you really are and what you want to do and where you want to go in life. There's massive astrological movement this year, and all of the endings and letting goes that we've been through in 2024 have served their purpose, most definitely. But they're not going to serve any purpose if we are living in the past. And this is especially highlighted because I drew two cards. The first card that I pulled is the Six of Cups. The second card is the Chariot. And the Six of Cups is about nostalgia and the things that we cherished in the past. And it's about these beautiful, bubbly emotions that give us that warm and fuzzy feeling. By the way, the deck that I'm using is the Tarot of The Witch's Garden by Sasha Graham and illustrated by Natasa Ilincic. The Six of Cups is about your emotions and also about your emotional history. Moving through Christmas, being with friends and family, moving through our traditions, things that make us happy, make us feel content, all feed into this Six of Cups. And it's also in this card a reminder because these two figures, these little fairies in the card, they're underground, they're under the earth. And this could have been a strong time of noticing or becoming aware of or moving through any unconscious emotions that could have been swept under the carpet, or you could have been trying to leave in the past but needed resolving, like that last little push for you to move through something before you step into this new beginning that you will be stepping into soon. And there's a few creepy crawlies around these two fairies. They obviously don't mind. They look like they're friendly and they're friends, but sometimes the nostalgia that we get from the past can be a creeping up on us that sits with us or follows us that we're not aware of. And moving forward now on this threshold of 2025, we're now aware of those things that were creeping or lurking around us that aren't serving our growth, that aren't serving our highest good. And we're now able to leave them under the earth where they belong. And also too, because there's a little wormy here, I'm just getting the word image of a portal or like a wormhole. It's almost like through the remembering or moving through these historical emotions and this nostalgia that could be serving you well or might not be serving you well. It's moving you through into another dimension of who you are. It's like the new dimension of you. And there's no other way to do that but through our emotions, because we do have Mars retrograde who will be entering Cancer again on the 6th of January. And this is all about the reviewing and revamping of our inner, deep buried historical emotions. And I think that's going to be a big part of where our liftoff is going to come from in 2025, because Mars is the action and the go and the drive to move and be. And in the watery sign of Cancer, about our emotions, how we feel safe and nourished, I feel like really solidifying an authentic emotional drive that comes from a healthy place, and taking the things from our history, taking the things from our past that are good for us and serve our forward motion is going to be a massive part of our ability to step into that new dimension of who we are. But stewing, holding on, the inability to let go, because we do have actually strong fixed astrological energy at the moment with the Mars opposing Pluto on the 3rd of January, squaring Vesta in Scorpio. This is all fixed energy. This is a huge, potentially eruptive discomfort, because change is upon you, change is upon us. And there could be a difficulty around accepting the change and accepting the letting go. Still, I know we've been moving through this for a long time, but it's still prevalent now. And the 6 of Cups here is just saying we're moving through this underworld emotional process. And through this process, we are collecting or retaining the emotions that serve our good, the lessons from the past, the lessons from our emotional history that make us wiser, that make us stronger. And we are leaving behind under the earth the past where it belongs. And burying that in a healthy way will only help to fertilize the growth that we are intending this year. And if we look across to the Chariot card, the Chariot is, funnily enough, associated with the sign of Cancer. And it is about going. You can see this figure here on the card is in their chariot. The reins on the horses are attached to the chariot, but this person doesn't have a tight grip, because the idea of the chariot is that your forward progression is coming from your will, from your drive, and from your sense of purpose and being ready to take action here. And it's not about forcing anything. With these fixed signs being pushed into a corner, the sense of being forced here is not going to feed the forward progression. And instead of trying to control something that is out of your control, the acceptance of what must be and the acceptance of your higher self coming in. This can be the discomfort. Your higher self that wants to progress is knocking on your door now, and the forward motion is ready for you to just step into the chariot and go. Take the lead and charge. And it's about the acceptance of the things that we can't control and having empowerment, because Pluto here is all about power, having the empowerment over our own sovereign will, our own desires, and following that and only that, and not trying to have power over in a way that is coming from a place of fear, or coming from a place of not wanting to release and let go, but rather stepping into our power and having power from a place of I trust that I have all that I need to move forward. Those things that you can't control will eventually amount to nothing, because if your own sovereign will is directed somewhere, the things that get put in your path, rather than looking at them as like an obstacle or something forcing you to do something you don't want to do, look at it as a lesson, look at it as timing, because we do have Mars retrograde here, there is a big time period until he turns direct later on in the year, until we will get that proper forward momentum. This is the learning process here, and the charging forward and going and stepping into these new dimensions of you. They will come, but it's about stepping into your own sovereign will and taking the reins of your own life first. Okay. And if you look behind the figure on the chariot here, there is such abundance. There are piles and piles of fruits and ripe vegetables. And it's like this sense of abundance that comes from valuing yourself and having that strong self-worth and strong sense of will, and that trust that you have the power and you have all that it takes to move forward and be your true self and be abundant and successful. That knowing and that energy is what will bring that abundance and that forward motion. And also, I just want to point out that there's a cheeky little figure behind the person holding the reins of this chariot. It's like a little satyr, like a forest being. They've got hoofs on their feet, and the upper body is that of a human. And this little figure has got tiny little horns, I think, by the look of it. But it's playing the pipes, and it kind of looks like it's dancing and swinging on a vine and having a jolly old time back there. I'm just getting right now, it's like letting your shadows out to play, because just the way that we've been conditioned, figures such as this are always associated with the devil now. And that was very consciously done by the people in charge who made those associations. Before this association with the devil, these satire figures were associated with the abundance of the earth and with revelry, with joy, with celebration. It's almost like these shadow parts of us, because Pluto again speaks of these shadow parts of us. And with Mars retrograde in opposition to Pluto, it's going into those subconscious drives to do that shadow work even. It's like letting them out to play, because Mars is still currently in Leo. Leo is the sign of play. Not to give them free rein and not to give them power over you, but allowing them out so that they can see the light of day, and so that you can see them properly and understand where they come from. And it could be anything. It could be an addiction. It could be a toxic relationship. It could be a detrimental mindset that you have around finances. This could be anything. These shadow parts of yourself being let out to play here with this Pluto-Mars opposition, and then also when Mars goes retrograde into Cancer, activating all of these subconscious emotions and our history and our family lineage, things that are unresolved. The opening up of these things and the moving through of these things and cracking it open, it is the way to move forward. Because the universe here is saying you can't move forward with these toxic paradigms within you. As I said before, they're stale, they're outdated, it's baggage now. And this cracking open, opening up, activation of these things, it will show you that the shadows are not as scary as you think. What you fear, perhaps, is not as scary as you think. Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius is a very mental, cerebral energy, and it can be about the power, Pluto, of the mind in Aquarius, and the ways that the power of the mind can be a controlling force in your life. And just letting go of that can be also a letting go of the fears of not having that control, because the mind and the conscious ego wants to control things, because it's a psychological process that is geared to try and keep us safe. But sometimes when it's out of balance and we're too much in that ego consciousness, this power of the mind taking over our every action, it can be detrimental to our inner emotions, with Mars moving through Cancer soon, and our inner child, because Leo, where Mars is currently, is about the inner child. And I feel like there's a lot of history that we are now being given the opportunity to let go of and releasing that baggage. It will lighten the load of your chariot and you'll be able to move. You'll actually be able to move this year. And this is this last push now of Pluto being the Lord of the underworld saying, leave the dead where they belong, leave what is past in the past. And we've been through that in 2024. And this is the last bit in a very powerfully activating way that we're going to be moving through in the first half of 2025 that is going to be very linked to our progression this year. So all in all, it's about taking those treasured and cherished emotional histories forward with us, the things that we've learnt emotionally, the things that have made us wiser, the things that bring us joy, taking those things forward with us, leaving the past in the past, lightening the load, becoming empowered by using your own sovereign will to be the leader of your own life and not allowing your ego consciousness or the egos of others to rule you. This is about taking the reins of your own life here. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you're having a wonderful New Year's. I'll be back soon with the last part of my Capricorn season rundown in my next video. I'll see you then. Bye.